I want you to talk about this because me and Conan repeat this. It's just not like we're the only ones to talk about it, but me and you have had conversations. The issue with AEW on how they just assume that you're supposed to be watching all of their programming, like being the elite to be like, because like I said, we've talked about this. Is like every show, it's like they're doing something and I'm missing the plot. You know what I'm saying? So, you don't watch.
Yeah,
BTE,
you're supposed to watch Being the Elite.
Right. I don't. What do you think about
Dark.
that?
You see, I don't like it personally because I've seen a few episodes of Being the Elite, and it's really good, but it's too inside for the mainstream fan. I got to be honest, AEW, like every wrestling promotion out there, is not 1/4 as funny as they think they are.
Right.
That's the biggest problem with wrestling today. Almost everyone who thinks they're funny just isn't. They might be funny to their friends in a kind of a locker room environment, but I do radio 3 hours a day, and I know funny and what's not. And I know what's not funny as soon as it comes out of my mouth, and that's a big problem for them, not knowing what's not funny. But yeah, I don't blame them for doing that, though, Glenn, because they book totally for the internet. They book totally for Twitter. They don't want mainstream fans. They want to super serve their audience that's already watching. And that's what all these ancillary shows do, whether it's on YouTube or whatever. I don't like it, but I get it, and I don't blame them at all.
Well, why wouldn't you want to expand from that niche audience?
They clearly just don't.
But let me give you the answer to that. Maybe because the owner of the company doesn't need the money. Bro, you're talking about a guy that he ain't in this to make money. Because they're not trying to draw. They're just trying to do their show, But it's funny that they brag about the ratings, but they're not actively trying to.
What do you mean they're not trying to draw?
They're not trying to get out. They're not trying to expand their fan base.
First off, you can't draw or even judge what's drawing now during the pandemic. But I get what you're saying. They're not trying to do a mainstream product.
Right.
They're trying to do a very inside product, and that's because this is Tony Khan's fantasy. And by doing it the way he does, and I know that I had that thing at the Tony Schiavone roast at StarCast where I made fun of him and he got mad, and he shouldn't have because a roast is a roast. Right. And I'd met the guy before and I like him. Right. And I think, this is a great project on his part. But think about this. This guy is a billionaire. He's involved with Jacksonville Jaguars, Fulham Football Club in England, and his first priority is wrestling. So he's going to do whatever he can to just, get his wrestling product over in the areas where he sees feedback. And that's Twitter, that's the internet, that's the dirt sheets. I mean, he talks to Meltzer constantly. Yeah. So he wants reinforcement in those areas, and you can tell because that's exactly how the product is booked. And I think that applies to a lot of his top talent, too. I think that the real genius is Don Callis, because Don Callis, he's doing stuff that is both insider and mainstream, and he's taken AEW and run an interpromotional feud that so far has benefited only him and Impact. It's done nothing but provide a little bit of interesting TV for AEW, very interesting TV. But think about the optics. He's gotten 3 of AEW's executive vice presidents to turn on the company on TV.